Hello, I'm Tom Croft and this is my King Scout Award presentation. Unfortunately I haven't got many pictures of my time in scouting, that's been my graduation day, but I've added pictures along the way and I'll tell you the stories of my award. So this is kind of what I'm going to present to you today. We've got an introduction to my journey in scouting, and then I'll move into the Nights Away, ICV and DV, which is what I used for my award. So my journey started in Beavers in 2006, but it started a bit earlier than that because I've got an older brother and I'd always kind of come to the village hall when he got dropped off. So as soon as I was old enough I started. Moving into Cubs and Scouts are where my kind of fonder memories started, learning how to map read, obviously looking for like cans of beans in fields with little grid references, learning how to use a compass, and my first experience camping in Guernsey. Then Explorers and my very lucky opportunity, the Japanese 23rd Jamboree. That was a great experience. I kind of transitioned to Explorers and that happened at the same time. So I went through the selection process and kind of went to Japan. Amazing experience that I'll talk about kind of in my ICV part of this presentation. And then my young leader experience as well, starting in 2016. I helped the Cubs out quite a lot with some of their badges and some of the events that they went to. Also kind of running games on a weekly basis. That's all kind of covered in my ICV as well. Then my Gold DV, I completed my whole DV experience with UCTC, the college that I attended for secondary school and sixth form. I'll again talk about that on that slide. Alright, so my nights away, so for my award I had quite a lot of nights away from Scouts all the way up to Explorers and kind of beyond then. The ones I picked were kind of fonder memories. So Miskin Mill in Wales was a really nice camp for us. We were kind of camped next to a river and a train line. Had a really good time in the woods, the other side of the campsite. My first time, I guess, winning hide and seek. I wasn't found the whole night. That was a really fun experience for me. It was also the first time I heard a tree limb kind of break off, and that was quite scary but quite a cool experience that I remember to this day. Norjam, that was kind of fun for me because it allowed me to kind of remember my time at the Jamboree. It was kind of another small international camp with some scouts from different parts of the UK, which was really cool to go to. And then Brandwood, this was our first camp in hammocks, which you can see me in there. I don't know how good the image will come up, but that was a really fun time and a kind of really unique experience. So my ICV, so I've tried to like colour code this. I've got green as my community, red as my international, and then purple as my values. And I've kind of dated them as when I did them. So starting off with the church ground, so this was part of my community section where I did this for my platinum award, I think, and we kind of continued doing it up through the years. So we maintained the churchyard, kind of did weeding, especially around this kind of memorial area. I don't know how good the photo is, but that's where all of our village parades, so Remembrance Day or St George's, kind of came, and on Remembrance they put the wreath down. Then obviously my Jamboree, so I've mentioned this. I did the selection process for Sussex and I was one of 4 from East Sussex that got into that kind of bigger cohort. It was an amazing experience. So the homestay, I've got a photo of me there at kind of a traditional Japanese tea making ceremony, which was amazing. Obviously learning about their culture and everything they do. And then moving on to the actual camp, learning about so many more different cultures. We were lucky enough to be next to a camp from Trinidad and Tobago, and they were playing their metal drums most of the day, which was just wonderful, especially in the Japanese heat when you had to spend so much time kind of undercover. Listening to them was a great part of that camp, and also trading things like this scarf, which is from the Brazilian cohort that went that year. Moving on to Remembrance Day, so this was part of my values. So as I mentioned, we did parades in the village. We also did bigger parades, like this one in Lewis, which was our kind of closest scout hub where loads of different troops would go and do a bigger parade through their town. During the Remembrance Day of 2018, I remember learning about the story of Charles Brown and Franz Stigler. So this picture here is of a English bomber and a German kind of attack plane. So the bomber was over the channel in Germany bombing a gun manufacturer. They'd taken heavy casualties, and Stigler here was obviously assigned to take out the English bombers, take out the Allied bombers. But he saw that this plane was so badly damaged and some of the people on it were so badly wounded that he decided not to take it down but to escort it back over the channel. And it's a great way to teach the younger, so obviously I did Cubs, about humanity during the war, and kind of learning about a story of two people that I think were still alive when I did that presentation to them. Teach them that they're real people and that it was real values that were at stake. Moving on, so one of my international section kind of things was cultural cooking. So this kind of started with the regular kind of cooking things you do with Cubs, teaching them how to use the stove, and especially on camps, teaching them how to use the transiers we had. But I decided to kind of cook different things with them because I love cooking, and a lot of, I think, my cooking influences especially came from my time in Japan. So coming back and showing them some of the things we saw other people cooking was amazing. And it kind of culminated on Shrove Tuesday, where you normally classically do pancakes, and we did pancakes, American pancakes, dosas from India, and parathas from another part of Asia, just to teach them that different cultures do different things. And we did this with bread making, pizzas, curries, sauces, and their favourite foods, just to show them that food influences come from around the world. And then I've got a variant of church celebrations I did with them as part of my values section of the award. So this included Christingle, I've mentioned Remembrance Day, St George's. A lot of these were done in our village, some obviously were done in Lewis. This is a picture of our beavers there. Unfortunately I'm not in the photo. Like I said, I've lost a lot of photos, but this is one I managed to find. That was in Lewis after a big parade, and I think that one was 2016, while I was still a young leader. And then my last part of the award is environmental conservation badge that I did with the Cubs. So that was building beehives, hedgehog homes and stuff like that. We kind of did it seasonally, so beehives in the summer and hedgehog homes kind of in the winter when they hibernate. And that was a great time to kind of like walk around the village and find different places to put these and get approval from the different people that own the land. So my DV experience, as I mentioned, I did this with my college. So started, I think, in year 10 or 11 with my bronze award. I did all 3 awards during my time at UCTC. So bronze physical, I did the gym. I really love staying fit, and at the time I did play rugby. So that was kind of an addition to my rugby kind of hobby. I went to the gym quite a lot. Skill, I did board games. So this was kind of ignited by a bit of a weird passion. My DV leader liked this game here called Hanaffle Taffle, which you might not have heard of, but it was, and I'll try and remember what it was from. I think it was a Western European board game about a medieval ambush where the king and his men in the middle of the board, so that's one player, are ambushed by the other player who puts their pieces on the side, and your objective for the game is to get your king to one of the corners of the board, and you move like a rook in chess. You can only move kind of straight lines, and you could take pieces by surrounding them on either 2 sides. So if your piece was in the middle and you had 2 opponent pieces either side, that piece would be taken off the board. And I really was drawn into it for, I think we did it on one of our bronze practice hikes in the campsite afterwards, and I was really drawn in, so I did board games as well as chess and other things like that. Volunteering all the way through has been scouting, so my time as a young leader with the Cubs. Silver, I did physical as running, which again kind of helped with rugby, but looked at that cardiovascular side of it. Cooking, so I've mentioned my love of cooking, and this probably influenced a lot of the cultural cooking that I did. And again, scouting for volunteering. My gold award, so I did rugby, which was kind of my true passion all through this. We actually won the school school county cup my last year of playing rugby. Skill, I did driving, so that's when I learnt to drive between my 17th and 18th birthday. And volunteering again was scouting. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. If you've got any questions, hopefully my email has been sent with this presentation, and feel free to email me. Thank you very much for listening.